Oh, there he is.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PC Gamer Show. I'm your host, James Davenport. Wait, Chris, are you in the center? I've got your names mixed around. I'm your host, James Davenport, wearing my Letterman's jacket here on the set of our on the set of the PC Gamer Show in the Wasteland of Fallout 76.
James, where's the camera? Where am I looking?
Uh,
Where's my
it's-
mark?
Wait, turn a little bit to the right, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the right. There you are. Give us a wave, Wes. Do you know how to email?
I don't know how to do that.
That's okay.
I can punch.
That works too. That works too. There's Chris. Let me move these names around.
If you want to sit down, Wes, you're gonna have to take that armor off, which you do by holding the E key.
I seem to be able to do a Wakanda forever, though. That's pretty cool.
For our audio listeners who have no fucking idea what's happening, we are streaming actually in the game Fallout 76. Chris built this lovely little stage for our talk show, and figured, hey, what the heck? Might as well do the PC Gamer thing and stream. It's the PC Gaming Show, PC Gamer Show. Might as well stream it from within a PC game. This is a new one. It's, I think, officially out today, even though it launched a day early. You're just gonna stand and swivel the whole time. This is stupid as hell. Some good emotes here.
Hold on, I gotta take my armor off, apparently.
We need wardrobe change. Maybe cut to commercial. But no, we're going to do our regular show in here. We're not going to run around quite yet. But we still have our usual topics and segments and so on and so forth. Well, that was a quick wardrobe change. Impressive, Wes.
Yeah. I did theater. It's a lie, I didn't do theater.
But yeah, a lot of cool stuff to talk about today, including, well, this very game. Because, Chris, you played a ton of the beta. And now that it's out, you've continued to keep playing, and we have some things, some opinions, some changing opinions on the survival aspect, I hear. So
We do.
I'll be talking about balance versus fun in competitive games, not even competitive games, just in general. And this comes around because of Fortnite recently enabled glider redeploy, and then also recently just disabled it. So there's kind of an interesting question to be asked. Should games favor balance or fun more? And Wes, you're going to be talking about all these damn living games that are out, including this one.
Yeah, I have played a ton of Fallout 76 lately, by which I mean about 6 minutes before we started the show. But no, I've been playing a bunch of Monster Hunter, as I've talked about on the show before. And based on a lot of my friends playing stuff like Destiny 2, I think it's really the topic of the season is like how people who play a lot of games deal with what can be sort of an overwhelming number of games that demand all of your time, all of the time. So I want to talk about that a bit.
Absolutely. Move the camera here. But yeah, Wes, Chris, you're covered by the nuclear cloud. It's no good. There we go. Perfect.
That's okay. It's fitting, I think.
But let's gosh, this is really weird. Let's move into our highlights of the week. And our highlights of the week are where we talk about maybe what we've been playing, but also what stood out to us about games in general that week. One anecdote or moment or thing that kind of stood out. And why don't we start with you, Wes, here on the left?
Yeah, so I decided to talk about something a little different this week. I've still been playing the same games pretty much, but because we have Game of the Year sort of barreling towards us as we get real close to December and start deliberating that stuff, I tried to spend a little time playing some games that I had wanted to play earlier this year but hadn't gotten around to. So I played the first few hours of Celeste.
Oh, yeah.
The platformer made by the developer of Towerfall, and that game is just wonderful.
Yeah, how far are you?
Only the first, probably 2 full areas.
Gotcha. Okay.
So probably only like a third of the way through it, or maybe even a little bit less.
More to see. I'm excited for you.
but I really like what I've played of it so far. I like just the general vibe of the game. It looks really nice, but it's mostly one of those games that once you start playing it, you can just tell immediately that the feel is just perfect. Like the speed at which you respawn after you die, and the little animation touches on the menu, and the way it loads back in, and the kind of just the general look of the art is like it's really pretty. It's cohesive. It's like this very relaxing looking game, but then the actual platforming is very challenging. But it's a much like warmer game than say Super Meat Boy, even though it has that kind of same idea of like you're probably going to retry this room, 5 times or more before you get it right, and nail it all in one go.
Right.
But it feels so good when you do.
Yeah, and how about that music, right? There's some
Yeah,
excellent tunes.
Everything in the game just is it's just really nice. It's just a really pleasant game. And it's been a long time since I've played a platformer, I guess, that just feels that good, just to move and jump and like use a dash move. It's not a complicated like arsenal of moves in that game, and it's not like a Metroidvania where you're going to be getting, you're getting the double jump, and then you're getting the extended dash, and you're getting the like super jump. It's just like this very core set of abilities that it just demands you use super well.
Cool. Well, I want to check in with you like in a week or two when you've played more, because it really extends how you use those core abilities like into some of the, I guess, the level design later on. So it gets
interesting.
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
The highlight for me so far has been you do this sort of dream sequence fairly early on where it kind of throws in these, I don't know exactly what to call them, these like basically these blobs in the level that have unique gravitational properties, and so you'll like jump into them and then come like rocketing out the other side. So you have to go into them at a certain angle to control your momentum properly so that you don't like smack into a wall and kill yourself, but you use those to like get extra velocity going through a jump or get somewhere you couldn't have gotten before. And like it was just really satisfying figuring out where you were going to end up if you went in at a certain angle, and timing that stuff right. It was really fun.
Cool. Happy to hear it. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I actually played a game this week called Thief Simulator, which I'll demonstrate. You basically creep around people's houses and steal shit out of their house. As the simulator goes, it doesn't have a lot of depth. The AI are basically robots, and if they happen to see you, it's like the police are called instantly. You can't actually hit them or anything, or knock them out, even though you have a crowbar. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun, janky little simulator. I kind of like it when they put extra steps into things. So instead of just, sneaking into a house, like first you're at your hideout and then you get into your car and you open the door and start the engine, and then you kind of drive around the neighborhood. And the idea is you kind of work your way up the ladder for the mafia, I guess. They broke you out of jail so you could go into people's houses and steal like toasters and things. So it's a very strange mafia contact you have. He's like, yeah, go in here and steal a guitar, or go into this place and break some dishes.
We broke you out of jail so that you can steal toaster ovens.
Yeah, basically. But you kind of do add skills like a lock-picking skill, which you can then add kind of a second level, so you can unlock more difficult locks. And there's security systems and things like that. And it's, like I said, it's really janky, but I kind of really enjoyed it. It's just sort of fun to, I don't know, break into a house and steal stuff. And like when the cops come, if someone sees you and they call the cops, you can like hide under the bed, and you'll see the policeman like run into the room and stand like right in front of you with his feet right in front of your face for like a minute, and then he turns around and runs away. So they don't really look for you if you're hidden. You can hide in a dumpster or closet, and so there's not like it's not really a stealth simulator. It's more like just one of those sort of semi cheesy, janky simulation games. But it's still, I don't know, it's still kind of fun. I do like that when you're stealing something like a TV, you have to uh, physically carry it in your hands and like load it into your trunk, and then you take it to the pawn shop and you have to like put it on the guy's table so he can buy it from you.
Can you break the stuff as you're trying to steal it?
Yeah, I mean, you can smash a lot of stuff. A lot of the like one of the another way to pick up cash is there's all these jobs on this like it's called like Rent a Thug, and there's all these jobs like sneak into this house and break their dishes or break their toilet or break their sink. I'm like, who's going to pay me $300 to break someone's sink? It's
That's really
bizarre.
vindictive.
Get it?
Yeah. Or it's like steal this painting or smash it, and it's like, why would surely you would want me to steal it and then sell it and someone would get money out of it?
What's a really specific, like, I don't know. You got to imagine there's like a very specific vendetta this person has against them to like pay someone that much money to break their sink. Like, what did they do? You came over and clogged my sink. Therefore, I don't know. I'm just fuming and got to get revenge. Either way, I would do it.
Yeah,
$300.
How do you think this game would pair with the police simulator that you played for a diary series, like, I don't know, 3 years ago or so? I remember that was a really funny one that you wrote.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot more basic, like because in the police simulator I had to like manage my happiness. I had to like talk to my family and like buy things for my house. This is, I mean, you have a hideout and you can kind of buy burglary tools and things like that, but there's not any real depth to it. Whereas as janky as the police simulator was, it had a bit more going on under the hood. But this it was still kind of fun. I enjoyed it. I might even keep playing just to see.
Is it in early access, or does it feel like there's going to be a lot more coming to it?
It looked like they were going to update a few things. It's not an early access game, I don't think, but they were talking about, I think, adding a few updates. But I don't know. It's kind of fun if you like kind of goofy simulators, and it is sort of enjoyable to creep around with your, black gloves on, being completely suspicious as you creep around this neighborhood like day after day.
Yeah, and
I loved that the first mission he sent me. There's basically one street that is available to me at this point, and he's like, "Yeah, go rob number 109." So he did that, and then he was like, "Yeah, go rob number 110." And it was like like I was just robbing each house in order. I'm like, "Is this a good idea, Vinny?" Like, I feel like the cops are gonna kind of catch on to this pattern if they have like a code breaker in the department who's like, got that Rain Man number solving thing in his head. He's like, I think he's going to 113 after that. But
Vinny doesn't seem like the sharpest mafia tool in the show.
No, I have a lot of doubts about this whole mafia organization. Yeah, I don't think they're really on the ball.
That's Thief Simulator. I linked to up in chat. You can see Chris's full thoughts and some pretty amazing GIFs.
Maybe that's going to be like the mid-game twist, is that the whole thing is setting you up to take the fall for them. They're actually criminal masterminds.
They broke me out of prison so they could, I guess, put me back in prison. I don't know. Who knows?
Gotcha.
Who knows with these guys? They like to smash dishes. Who knows what they're actually thinking?
Right on.
What about you, James?
My highlight happened in the physical realm, in the real world. So I just moved out here to Eugene, and I found out there's like quite a few barcades, many of which have pinball machines. We also have a club member, Pendo, who lives out here, invited me out to some of those very barcades, and we went and played a bunch of pinball. And this is tangentially related to PC gaming because it's the first time I've really played a lot of pinball since. I never got into physical tables as a kid because they just weren't around. But I played a ton of pinball games because they were always in the the discount $5 CD rack at Walmart or Staples or wherever the hell we happen to be that had games that would actually run on whatever junky compact we had. And so like a lot of tables are familiar to me, or I at least recognize a lot of them, and it was really cool to go to this place in particular called Blair Ally, or Blair, I think it's Blair Ally. And they had a bunch of old tables, a bunch of like super vintage tables, and one was so
Give
fascinating.
Me some names.
Wes, you're the pinball guy. So
when you say vintage, you talking like 50s and 60s, like real old stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't quite remember some of the names, but there was one, I think it was more like 70s or 80s, called like Haunted Mansion or something like that.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
With a bunch of crazy mirrors. So like I pull the ball back, the pin back, the ball shoots up into, there's actually like a hidden pinball, tiny board in a cross section of a house at the top of the board, where I'm playing pinball up there for a little bit. Then I eventually lose the ball in that, like this cross section of the house. Meanwhile, the main board is like being neglected this whole time. And then when the ball falls out of that, it goes, the main board lights up and then reveals a pinball, or excuse me, another board beneath it, but mirrored below. So I'm like having to, it's upside down and mirrored. So I'm like playing pinball upside down and mirrored in this really, it was like this, how it was a really messed up, surprising table that kept like subverting my expectations for what pinball is. So that was really cool. I had a lot of fun with that one. There was a bunch were taken, so I couldn't play, but there's like an old West one. I'm sure I'll take pictures and show you sometime, West. But I played a bizarre one that was like an old NBA table, but that operated, instead of on balls, like you usually have 3 balls, it operated on quarters like basketball. So not quarters of the currency, but you had timers, so you could just, as many balls as you could get through, but you had,
that's kind of crazy
time. Yeah, and a ton of multi-balls.
There was probably a way to extend the clock if you scored enough.
Yeah, and there was even like on the back panel, I don't know what you call it, you pinball heads call it, the back panel. There was a tiny single paddle like free throw game. So if you met certain conditions, you could like try and bounce the ball into this hoop up the top. It was pretty wild, but pretty neat. So yeah, that was my primary highlight, was just like, man, reconnecting with pinball, because I learned about pinball on the PC and I used to play it all the fucking time.
Did you ever play the Epic Mega Games pinball? It was one of Epic's like first games.
I think I did.
I think it was a collection, but I only ever played the freeware or the shareware version, which was I forget if it was called Android, but it was this big, like the table would scroll multiple screens because it was the only way they could make it vertical enough. And it was this like yellow and blue color scheme, and there was like an android that you were basically assembling as you completed the proper shots, or like bringing it online. It was real weird.
Yeah, I'm surprised like the PC hasn't done more with, I guess I don't know, it's lost its luster and immediate appeal, but I'm surprised like there wasn't more of that crazy experimentation with pinball. I know we had gosh, I'm forgetting the name. God, what's the Metroidvania style game?
Yoku's Island Express.
Yeah, Yoku's Island Express. I played that this year, and it's a really cool way to like rope in pinball mechanics with an action exploration game. It's so surprising.
Pinball platformer. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, great game. Yoku's Island Express. Check that out. But yeah, that's my highlight. Playing some pinball with a club member in a new place, and I felt very welcomed and had a great time. So thanks, Pendo. Other than that, minor highlight is that I got Hitman 2 this week, and I found out just by booting it up, I hadn't been paying attention to it much, that all of the levels from the last game are just in there if you own it. So all of it in one spot. Super happy to find out.
And I think they've added a little bit of they've integrated the new tech they've designed for Hitman 2 into those old levels, I think, like functioning mirrors, maybe. Yeah. I forget the details, like a few things like that even if you played those levels 10 times, it'll be a little bit different if you go back to them.
Yep. So that's amazing, and I'm having a great time with that. That first level, I spent like 3 hours in the other day, and I still have like 5 more to go. So exciting. Yeah, those are my highlights. Why don't we move into this damn game we're in that we are now stuck in, I guess. Chris, you've been playing a shitload Fallout 76, and at first you maybe weren't so hot on these survival systems, yeah?
Yeah, before we start on that,
sure.
FYI, an event started at this area that we're at, and there's some high-level players. Look like they're moving over here. Like, seriously,
shit.
On 3 sides of us, there's a big supply drop event.
Speaking of survival systems, can I ask a question? I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm dying. I'm gonna die of thirst.
What do you need?
At some point soon here, and I don't quite know what I have.
This happens on every talk show, in case you guys are wondering. Like, it's
let me drop some stuff for you here. Let's see.
I need a Mountain Dew.
I'm giving you some soup, some water. There's a little paper bag now on the floor. Hopefully you can see that, and just drink everything in there.
Usually we have like an assistant do this, but we're a bit short-staffed right now. So
I don't mind picking up lunch for the gang. It's cool.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on this
Hold on,
event.
I can't have a drink while I'm sitting down. What is this shit?
Why don't you play the piano there, Wes?
Play some tunes while Chris regales us with his opinions.
I'm gonna just drink some straight heavy cream here.
Filming you
delicious.
Anyway. Good stuff. Yeah, so I play a lot of survival games. I enjoy them for the most part. A lot of times it feels like the survival stuff, like the eating and drinking and nutrition and hydration is just kind of slapped on there. It's like a meter. It's just every now and then, fill the food meter, have some food. And it doesn't really contribute to the game that much, and it's not very well thought out. And I kind of feel like that's how it is here in Fallout 76 for the most part. It's a meter, and you just got to fill it every now and then. But while I don't really like it that much, I'm starting to kind of appreciate it in how it can kind of affect you in the game. I wound up like just way the hell across the map, and I hadn't brought any food or drink with me because I was just not thinking of it. And I wound up actually so dehydrated that I started taking damage, which meant that you can't fast travel when you're taking damage. So like if you're on fire or something, you also can if you're suffering from lack of food or water. So I couldn't get out of there, and there was a giant Mirelurk monster chasing me, and there's these chems you can use like Buff Out and Psycho, which give you combat buffs, but they also increase your need for food and water. Like if you take a lot of chems, you'll get really thirsty. So it's like kind of having to weigh, like, should I really pop these drugs right now because it's just going to make things worse for me. When it comes
there's a guy just running up the hill over, a couple guys on this hill over to our.
Yeah, I see them. They're very high level. I think they just did. I think they just did that mission. Hopefully
they don't come murder us.
I hope they do. Anyway,
I got some guns.
Got some big guns.
Whoa, hold on.
How did you get those through security?
Would you go on Ellen with a bazooka, Chris? Come on.
I would. Ellen's seen bazookas before. She knows what's up. So anyway, just I don't really think the survival system stuff in here is that great, but it did put me in kind of some interesting positions, and kind of made me think about, like, what should I do this thing that's going to make my current situation worse in the long run, even if it helps me in the short term. And it can feel like a pain. You want to go do a mission, but first you have to collect some food and some water, and that usually means either looting something or killing some creature and taking it and then cooking it and then boiling the water, and that stuff can feel pretty annoying.
Right.
But at the same time, like, this is clearly not a game really that you're intended to just race through, checkpoint to checkpoint, and it's a game that you should probably slow down a bit, take your time, plan the next few hours instead of just running off in the direction of the icon on your map. So, and I think that's good. I think it helps you kind of settle down and go like, instead of doing 8 different quests tonight, I'll do like 2 or 3, but I'll prepare myself, I'll get all geared up and manage my inventory, make sure I have enough food and drink, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
No, do you think, and here's what I wonder, and maybe you can speak to this, but I don't know how far you are in the game. Do you feel like it becomes more of a consideration with more difficult quests? And do quests get more difficult feeling in that regard? Is it something like, now that I'm in the late game and okay, I have to take out this wild monster or crazy foe? Are you eyeballing these folks? Do you feel like
keeping an eye on? I can hear shots and I can see stuff going on up there, so I'm just continue.
Do you feel like those survival systems sort of come to the fore and really affect, like you were describing, that kind of planning ahead more so than it does in the early game? Because in the early game, it's just like a thing you got to do sometimes. But in late game, I'm wondering, does it become a much more important decision?
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of spread out from Vault 76 into different parts of the world, things get really much rougher.
Right.
And I think like I'm definitely when I'm thinking about going to one of these far-flung spots, I'm definitely thinking more along the line of like, am I really prepared enough for this? And do I have enough stuff, not just food and water, but like medicine, and is all my gear in good shape? Do I need to repair stuff first? And all that requires like a lot of looting and a lot of scavenging and crafting, and and that stuff can feel like it's getting in the way. I mean, it often does, but sure. I think there's something enjoyable about it too, not just rushing off to do something, but actually having to kind of think about it a bit first.
It reminds me of what I would hope the ideal form of it for me, especially in like what I hope the late game feels like in this game. It reminds me of The Witcher 2, and I don't know if I could like really stomach The Witcher 2's like potion and meditation system in a big open world, like something's always going on type of game like this. But I think I really liked the idea of like knowing what you want to do, like deliberately choosing what you want to do, and then like sitting down and having like a distinct preparation phase that really benefits you.
The first 2 Witcher games really made you do that, unless you were playing on. They probably had easy settings, but like on normal, if you didn't do that, you were going to get your ass kicked. And the third one, I think less so, but it was still important.
Yeah, and the camp system in this game seems to sort of tap into that. It doesn't really the importance of it has not been underlined for me quite yet. But I don't know. It's promising what you say, Chris, because it sounds to me like that can't like if you're prepping for a big thing, you're gonna bust out your camp, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna like, all right, look at what you have and really eyeball and manage your inventory in order to make sure you're prepared for the next big thing or the next day, really.
Yeah, though on the other hand, like this is the first actual like camp I've built for this. Like this set is
this is the first.
This is like the first time I've actually built stuff besides just putting down a workbench, because there's beautiful. Not. And you don't even really have to do that because there are workbenches like at locations all over the place. But it's kind of weird. It's like it seems like this would be really important, but at the same time, like you can, if I want to go somewhere else, I just fold it up and it all goes back into the box, and it's not like this is any kind of permanent thing. If I leave the world, it comes with me. If someone's blowing up my stuff, I can just leave and they can't do that anymore. So it's kind of like, it's not super critical. I think right. It's there if you sort of want to build stuff. I think
Cool.
it's kind of fun, but it doesn't feel necessary.
So you can just pack up your piano and just take it with you, huh?
Yeah, it just all goes back in the box, and then
Survive.
you can put
That's
it down
pretty
somewhere else.
convenient. I like it. How have you noticed, or have you gotten a good sense the amount of time you've been playing the game of like the scarcity of resources and the rate at which stuff respawns? Like, does it feel like supplies are prevalent and everywhere, or is it really obvious when like somebody has picked over a location before you?
Most of the loot is shared stuff. Like if we go to the same crate, we'll both find stuff in there.
Okay.
In terms of stuff lying around, like on counters, I believe that's all individual. Like if I get there first, I'll get it. But like, there's no shortage of loot. It's everywhere. Like that blue box over there is filled to capacity. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do when I start playing again because my pockets are filled. My stash is filled. There's a weight limit on the stash that's pretty low. And I'm just constantly like, I get to the point after a few hours of play, like I'll walk into some ruined building and there's just a million things I can pick up, and I'll be like, oh god, I don't want to like walk through this building picking up every piece of garbage I find, but like I kind of need to, but at the same time, like I don't have anywhere to put it either. So I mean, I don't feel like much is scarce. Some things are hard to find,
Right.
but there's no shortage of crap. It's everywhere, and there's tons of it.
So how do you just need to train yourself to be less of a vacuum as you go through the environment and just picking up stuff that you really aren't going to actually need?
Yeah, like I had to make some decisions today about my weapons because I had like a bunch that I really liked, and I'm like, I'm just not going to be a laser weapon guy because carrying these laser weapons around and the ammo for it is kind of bogging me down. So I'm just going to pretend laser weapons don't exist. Energy weapons, I'll scrap them. I'll get rid of the ammo because I got to make some choices. I have other stuff that I want to keep. Like I have this cool, where is it? I have this cool black powder rifle.
Ooh.
I don't know if you can see it. Can I move closer to the camera? I don't know where the camera is.
Right there.
But it's like, yeah, I really like this. It's slow as hell to reload because it's a musket. You have to like pour in the powder and do the thing with a stick where you jam it in there, so you get like one shot every 10 seconds. But it does sick damage, so I want to keep it. And yeah, you don't have an unlimited supply, or you don't have an unlimited storage capacity, so you kind of have to make tough decisions, which isn't, again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I kind of want to keep, 400 different weapons, because why not? Why shouldn't I? I don't know.
So is your current capacity to both carry and store stuff, is that going to keep going up as you play more, or have you already like maxed out? Or does it increase?
They've said that, like right now, the stash limit doesn't increase. They said they're going to increase it at some point. My personal carry ability is dictated by my strength, so I can add, when I level up, I can add points to my strength perk or my strength ability, and there are also perk cards that are like, oh, this card makes armor 25% less heavy, or meds, gotcha, or ammo. So you can build your character into someone who can carry a lot more, and if you use power armor, you can carry a lot more while you're in power armor too. So there are ways to improve your. I'm just putting my power armor down.
Ooh. Whoa, that's a big boy.
There are ways to carry more stuff.
I hear some intense firefighting going on in the distance.
Yeah, I can hear that too. Make me nervous. I think it's just them fighting AI monsters and stuff.
We should be fine. It should be fine.
Yeah,
I got followed by two people for the bulk of last night. Sorry, go for it.
No, mostly people are pretty cool. I mean, another player and I tried to trade earlier. We didn't agree on a trade, but it was very chill situation as we looked through each other's inventory. Most players I run into either are completely indifferent or they'll give a little wave.
So I think that's really interesting. I guess we need to give Bethesda some credit for that, because I think when this game was announced and they said like, oh, we're not going to have PvP PvE servers at launch, everybody's reaction, or at least my reaction, was like, are you guys idiots? Have you ever seen an online game like Rust where people are just constantly murdering and griefing each other? This is going to be like a total mess for anybody who just wants to play by themselves.
No,
but it seems like that really hasn't been the case.
No, some of that spirit still lives on. Like like I was saying, the last night I was as harassed as you can be in this game. I was followed by 2 players like all over the map. I was just trying to complete some early tutorial quests. And they kept like trying to throw grenades at me and hitting me and trying, not like actually trying to kill me, but like whittling down my health enough they were just like big explodey gunfiery mosquitoes in my ear. But that's all they could really do without getting a bounty on their head and the entire map coming to them. So
some people are just going to be dicks.
Yeah,
but it's not quite as prevalent, I guess, as I expected.
I mean, you can get back at them because like, well, I just started like following them once they left me alone, and I would hide in the next room and make little farting noises, and then they would start talking to each other and looking for me. Then they started like hitting me, and I started saying "Thank you, Daddy" anytime they hit me, and they did their best to run away at that point, but didn't let it happen. So yeah, you can still get those weird PvP kind of tense, bizarre interactions. But they are not necessarily rewarded or discouraged. It's just kind of.
Was it the most tense when you said "Thank you, Daddy"?
Oh God, it got so tense. Like personally tense, sexually tense, for me in my own mind. But good memories. Yeah, I mean, I still want to play a lot more, and maybe I'll hop in with you sometime later today or in this week, Chris, and you can show me.
I have soloed a lot of it, and it's very doable solo. Events are difficult because they're mostly about mobs and mobs and mobs. But like as far as I've played so far, it's pretty doable solo, which is great.
Cool.
So what do you feel like you still need to do and see before you write your review?
I want to chase the main quest more. I want to see where it leads. I also want to do some general, exploration. It's like I'm still kind of blown away by just how huge this world is. It's really huge. I've been a lot of places, but anytime I even go back to an area I've been before, there's so many more spots to find.
I will say, like, the biomes are super distinct and interesting. I remember in Fallout 4 there was, it was like the northeast part of the map. It was like a radiated, green, hazy area. Do you remember what I'm talking about? I think we're some desert. I forget what it's called, but it seems like every other biome is that distinct and interesting, which is like enough to carry me through the usual sort of Bethesda jank. Because it's a pretty cool world, at least so far.
Yeah, I get a few vibes, not quite as much, but of Mad Max, the game, where you kind of enter these different biomes, and it would be kind of like a huge, like just a different mood and a whole different feeling. And I was like down in the southern part of the map the other day, and it was like just this like industrial wasteland, and it was like it's really pretty arresting to go into these new areas and be like, wow, like not only is it huge, but it has a completely different feel from the other areas I've been in.
Cool. Well, I look forward to reading your final thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Those should be up. Gosh. Well, who can say? As soon as we can get them.
Soon, I hope.
Soon. Yeah, I mean, since we're talking about a living game, Wes, why don't we just move right into your topic and talk
sure
about how many of them there fucking are. So many.
Yeah, so yesterday I wrote a short thing on the site just about what's going on in Monster Hunter World right now. I've been trying to drag James back into it with me. But so because the game came out on PC about 7 months after the consoles, they have had sort of a different rollout schedule for the all their like special events and added monsters and stuff like that.
Right.
So some of them have come kind of at the same pace they did on consoles, and then others have come a lot sooner. So right now they're running this big raid that like 16 players can kind of do simultaneously in a lobby. That one debuted in August for the console version, which was like 6 months after it came out, but it is much sooner for the PC version. At the same time, they're doing this Devil May Cry crossover event that starts the end of this week, and then like while that's still going on, starting next week, they're introducing one of the monsters that they have added to the game, a new Elder Dragon. So there's like tons of stuff going on in this game, and I've been trying to get my friends who played through like the main campaign with me to jump in and like do these events, and we're doing it, but they're also, the two of them are also playing a lot of Destiny 2 now. A little less now than like a month ago, but Destiny 2 like put out a new expansion, and so I'm kind of like fighting for time between Destiny and Monster Hunter, trying to get them to hunt shit with me. And I think that's the case probably for a lot of people who are playing almost any game that's released this holiday season. Like even a game that I would think of as a very sort of casual time sink, Forza Horizon 4, they're putting out new cars in that game like every week or every couple weeks, and new like event races and stuff like that. There's tons of new shit coming to that game. Same for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like 8 years ago, an Assassin's Creed game would have just been that single player thing that you play by yourself for 40 hours and like maybe there's some DLC for it. Now they're releasing like new gods to fight, or I don't even know what. I don't know what they're doing with Assassin's Creed, but there's new shit coming to that game all the time. So I'm curious how many people in our chat just feel like torn in all these different directions between games that they want to play some of and then kind of either feel like they need to keep playing it, or if it's just like a matter of time for them, and like they are juggling for these different games, but that takes up every minute of spare time they have.
I mean, it's definitely a thing I have noticed this year in particular, because I mean we're sort of entering our game of the year discussions, and I tend to write down everything I played that year in a doc and sort of like highlight it, either give it a hierarchy of like what I like the most versus what I didn't, so I can have something to reference pretty easily. And I didn't play a lot this year. I really didn't. And I think that's because so many games are moving toward and successfully doing some really interesting, fun stuff. Not to say like I don't like this like living games and things I do, but I just don't play nearly as many small games or one and done games like Frostpunk, Wandersong. There's all these amazing games I'm just getting into that I just glossed over because Destiny was doing stuff, most of the year. Monster Hunter came out and has just been basically fast forwarding through the previous like 6 to 8 months of stuff. I still have a lot to do there. Assassin's Creed was, I think, honestly padded out, and as a result of trying to sort of be one of these living things. Fortnite is a fascinating thing to follow, and you're really incentivized to like play weekly to get those challenges, or just to see what's going on in the world, or what new tools they've added. And seeing that, like, I usually previously spent only like a couple hours a week really playing games, like maybe 1 hour a day, a couple days a week, maybe 2 hours a day. That is so easily taken up by just checking
one of
in.
These games.
Yeah, one of those games. And it's been stressful. It's maybe not the right word, because it's like it's fake stress. It's not; these aren't real things, but that I owe anything to. But where the fuck did Chris go? But
I'm around. I'm seeing if I can find any food because
Oh, you're gonna die.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, but yeah,
just planning ahead. Just planning ahead.
it's tough, and even you'll even see stuff like I think Hitman was sort of already moving towards that, but like Hitman 2 with its many weekly targets and all these games are trying to like keep you playing because that's how games make money. It's a better way to make money, you know, as Fortnite shows.
And I think the way different games, like it's not a new observation for us to say games as a service is huge, right? I'm not pretending like this is a revelation, but it is interesting. A lot of games are doing this, but with sort of different benefits for the developer coming out of it. So like Monster Hunter, for example, there's virtually no DLC or microtransactions for that game. You can buy like gestures and stickers, which you kind of use to communicate in the game. But, like that's super secondary. I mean, it's so minor even compared to cosmetics that you would buy in, you know, so many games now, right? A Fortnite, a League of Legends, whatever, that there's almost no reason to spend money on Monster Hunter World except for buying the game. But I think the benefit for Capcom for putting out all of this post-game stuff, all these extra monsters to fight and these weekly events, is it keeps people talking about the game, keeps people playing it. That keeps it on, you know, the Steam most played list. That just increases visibility for it, and that's how you get more people to continue buying the game after it came out. I think that's a pretty different model than something like Fortnite, where it's a free game, but they make all of their money on the fact that people are in there buying, you know, the new special skin that came out this month, or the 10 special skins that came out this month.
Yeah, it's amazing. All of the, I mean, I remember the conversation like 5 or 6 years ago was that games need like free-to-play games or even stuff like map packs and stuff like Monster Hunter adding new monsters. That stuff should be not free and not insidious and nice and easy to access. And there should be better ways to monetize these games. And now that they have found those ways, I don't know. It's a catch-22. I don't have time to play them all, and they're great for the most part.
So Destiny's kind of a split example, right?
Yeah,
where they do have in-game like cosmetic stuff you can buy, right? But really, to play the new stuff, you have to pony up for the expansion, right?
Definitely, yeah. I think that's a game in constant flux, and I think that, I mean, their recent decision to make Destiny 2 base game free, I don't know, because it's Activision, that it'll ever be free to play. Maybe it will, but I think Destiny is the kind of game that's trending towards more of a like a Fortnite model, where everyone loves to look cool in that game and sort of like have interesting gun skins and yada yada. And some of that is fun to obtain through the challenges of the game itself, and that's great and fun. But I think more than anything, like, people want to express themselves, and I can see that game trending towards like being just totally free to play, or maybe
if it was a free to play game, how much more money would they make selling dance emotes than they have so far?
Yeah, that's what I wonder. I don't know. Maybe they just, and can they pull it off in a way that doesn't could they pull it off in a way that doesn't compromise like earning rewards through the game itself? I don't know, but I think that's a question all developers are asking themselves: is how can we make our game as free as possible, or at least like sustain it in a free way as long as possible? Because that's, like you said, Monster Hunter is like a prime example. I didn't expect, like, I thought Monster Hunter was going to be come and go, but I did not expect Capcom to support it as well as they have, and that has been precisely why it still is part of the conversation. And
yeah, I mean, I've been really happy with it. I think the like longtime Monster Hunter fans, I think a lot of them sort of scoff at the post-game support because of a lack of new monsters being introduced. And the old Monster Hunter games, a lot of them have like 80 monsters to fight, and Monster Hunter World has a much more limited, bestiary, but they're also really awesome monsters. Like they're all new, almost all new designs. They're really complex. The way they fight with each other is really cool. The environments are so much more detailed, and like even if the post launch, support, these special events and whatnot aren't all brand new monsters that they're debuting, they're still like fun, unique events or give you unique rewards that I'm totally happy playing them. I don't need like a brand new monster every 2 weeks to keep me happy. So.
Yeah, but the other concern I have is, you've noted this in the notes, is that what does this say about, like, I think we can all agree that single player is not going away, but what does it say about the big AAA, big budget single player game? It may not be going away, but look at Assassin's Creed or Hitman. Are we going to see? I think the single player game is going to change significantly in how they are designed, so that they can support a free DLC plan or sort of like a cosmetic structure or some kind of way to audio listeners, they're threatening each other.
I'm sitting back down. Yeah, I think that's a good question. It feels like the indie game and like the $15 game, I don't think that stuff's at risk so much, but I feel like it's already pretty rare to have a big budget, $60 game or whatever that you just play it and you're done with it. Like they want, as I was saying before, like they want that visibility to stick around, even if it's not, buying microtransactions. They just want that effectively free advertising, keeping that game relevant for 6 months, a year, 2 years after release. And I think just given how much these games cost these days, it's really hard to justify not building it that way,
Yep, for sure. It's gonna be an interesting thing to see, because at this time last year we were all mad about loot boxes, and now you don't really see. I mean, you see fewer insidious takes on the loot box nowadays, and most games are trending towards like what we're talking about. But it's gonna be interesting to see like how that continues.
And I wonder if it's gonna mean the average player buys fewer games over the year, because like, and that could be good or bad for the developers if they keep playing that one game, but then they buy whatever expansions and microtransactions for it. Maybe that ends up paying off. But it seems like if I'm buying Assassin's Creed Odyssey and I can keep playing it for 6 or 8 months, why am I going to buy like another single player action RPG kind of game in that time period if I get really invested in that one? Maybe I'm not.
Maybe you're not.
Maybe I'm not. But I do need to eat some canned dog food or something here so I don't starve to death.
Well, it's a perfect time to move on. I think I'm going to save my topic because I want to have enough time to do this Q&A right. And Chris, I don't know if you're ready or not, but we're going to do our usual PC Gamer Q&A. So Twitch chat, tag PC Gamer. Be sure you tag us, PC Gamer and Twitch chat, if you have any questions about computer games or anything adjacent to those this week. And we'll get to those as soon as we can. We do prioritize our Discord, our PC Gamer Club Discord questions, which you can, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to club.pcgamer.com, club.pcgamer.com to find out more. It's just a monthly subscription service, a way to support us directly, and you get some pretty good kickbacks from that, including ad-free experience on the site, digital magazine subscription, free game each month, and access to our Discord, among other things. What is happening? Someone's shooting stuff on stage?
I have a question. Why is it still showing my power armor?
Oh no! I got kicked because I was idle.
What?
All right, I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Man, and I was
So what
gonna
is
shoot
the-
you too.
What does it show on our screen then? That's weird.
I'm coming
Well,
back.
there's a
Don't worry.
story
This is
if you
perfect
just-
timing.
Did you
Yeah,
just hang out
how
and-
did you actually set up the camera for this? That was a good setup, James. I
It's a
don't know
photo
how you did
mode,
it.
so you can
Ah,
just dip
perfect.
out. I couldn't move my guy, but this is perfect. So we're gonna do our Q&A. Get your questions at us. Ask us anything about games. Oh, that's a good question, Kanifu. In Exile and Obsidian, bought by Microsoft. I'll address that.
Chris,
in
are
a
you
bit.
invisible?
Can you not see me?
I can see your like name tag.
It's fresh release.
I'm like
But-
right in front of you.
Yeah,
You
you're
can't see
definitely
me?
invisible. Nope.
The
Weird.
twist this week for PC Gamer
Hold on a
Q&A
second.
is that it's also going to be a manhunt. We're going to, if you don't know how PvP works in Fallout 76, it's really hard to kill other players. It takes quite a bit of damage, and you have to really focus them down. It's more so meant to be a cooperative game, interesting social experience. But you can kill other players, and when you do, am I at your camp still? Am I near you guys? Oh, there you are. But when you do,
Can you still not see me? Sorry.
Nope. I can just see a highlight.
Weird.
what the heck? I can see you. When you do kill someone, you get marked on the map for everyone to kill. Actually, I'm not with you guys. I'm with two different people. So let's get to the right place. Chris is gonna kill Wes. He's gonna
Hey,
get
what?
marked. Yeah, he's gonna kill you, and that means you probably can't be on the same team, right?
I think I have to kick you off our team.
Yeah.
Why don't we
sorry,
kill
Wes.
James?
I gotta film the experience.
He's got to film it.
Damn it.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There, fast traveling to you.
This is really unfair because I can't even see you, so I don't have much of a chance to fight back.
I'm taking health damage, so I think I gotta. What does that mean? Do I have to eat or drink or something?
I'm concerned that you can't see me. That's really strange. It might be a glitch if you sit for an hour pointing a photo mode at someone.
Eat.
Hey, I wasn't doing that.
That's true. Well, it was weird because my power armor was showing feed, even though I put it away like 10 minutes ago.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that your power armor is still visible to me.
Really?
It's a fucking game. There's some bugs, some kinks to be
There's
worked
some
out.
bugs.
All right, I'm coming. But yeah,
And they-
we're gonna answer our questions while Chris runs from justice, and see how it goes. It might be really boring, and no one really cares that he did anything, and we just answer questions and go for a nice stroll, or we get into a terrible shootout. I'm not gonna intervene, I'm just gonna watch and see how it goes.
I'm just over here taking a nap on this shitty bed that Chris built.
I gotta if I kick Wes off the team and then kill him, I'm not sure if he stays here. Let me see.
Is James back yet?
I'm coming.
Oh, there he is. You just teleported onto my screen.
Hello. Let me get this. Oops. I always mix up which keyboard I'm using. All right. So again, if you have questions,
I've been
throw them in
kicked off
chat,
the team.
and we'll answer them. Actually, we need to.
Damn
we're
it, you're
still
still
friends.
invisible.
We're still friends. I still don't think I can hurt you. I think I have to defriend you too.
Really? You can't even hurt your friends?
Apparently not.
Pacifist is enabled. You are not doing damage to other players.
Oh,
Oh.
How do you
Yeah.
turn that off?
Go into your options and disable pacifist. It's in game options or gameplay or whatever they call it. Data.
settings, game, and then pacifist mode.
We didn't talk about how really bad the menu is of the game.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's largely
Really-
unchanged, which is. Yeah.
Can you see me, James?
I can see you.
It's weird. That Wes-
I only get your footprints.
What the fuck?
That's kind of fun.
Well,
It's like
Ghost
a
is going to
predator.
kill Wes, and then.
There you go. Now you're red for me. Come here.
This is so unfair.
See this all go down.
Oh, now
Uh-oh.
my turret's after you now.
Just stand in front of it. Take it.
Oh, I think you broke my feet. I got a little cartoon Pip Boy broken feet.
Did you heal?
I did not. At least not manually.
Okay. Once we get these guys
Alright,
dead.
if I die, I'm
Okay.
gonna die playing the piano. I'm also on fire.
Go out with a nice tune.
Oh, he's down.
And dead.
Uh,
What happens if I seek revenge?
So are you wanted now, Chris?
No, he is. I think because he attacked me first.
Oh. Well, shit.
I'm gonna
So
take all your
Wes-
shit real quick. Just gonna
Oh, hey, I spawned nearby.
hold on. Go ahead and take all of it.
So we might have to change the mission, and I don't see you on the map though.
I can still see James, but Chris, I think you're still invisible to me.
Weird.
This is dumb. Did you not shoot him even though he's invisible?
I think I hit him once or twice, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay.
I think maybe if I put on my armor, he'll be able to see me.
Oh, good
But
call.
I don't see him now though. Where are you, Wes?
Where are you, Wes?
I'm coming back over towards you guys.
Okay. Let's take a question here. Kunifu has a good one. I'm actually taking this one first because I think it's an important one to ask. Kunifu in Swiss chat, what do you guys think the recent acquisition of InXile and Obsidian means for the future of exclusive games on Windows and Xbox and the Game Pass? So I don't know. I don't know. I think a more pointed question is, what do you guys think about that in general? Like, what is it? What is the? Okay, I can see you both. Can you not see each other?
I can see Wes. Wes, you
I
still
don't-
can't see me?
I only see your footprints.
That's really weird.
Actually, and your shadow. I can see your
Oh,
shadow.
that's creepy. Okay, shoot him. Wait, no.
I
don't
think
shoot him.
I think it's potentially exciting. I feel like Obsidian feels like one of those developers who have some really great, creative, talented people on their staff. Who've made some really good RPGs over the years, but for the most part have always struggled with time and budget.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about like KOTOR 2, super buggy game, Fallout New Vegas, super buggy game, both were developed in, 18 months as a follow-up to a, very successful RPG. And I think they haven't quite had that same issue with, Pillars of Eternity with their own stuff, but I'm hoping that having the backing of Microsoft means, they can go, okay, you've got 3 years, make like a legit big budget RPG and have that, work out really well for them.
He's still shooting your power armor, Chris.
In Exile, I feel like is
Yeah.
I really like Bard's Tale 4. It didn't get great reviews, unfortunately, but Andy on our staff thought it was pretty good. But they haven't found quite as much success as Obsidian, sorry. So I hope that again having a bit more time and budget allows them to do that.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It all depends on like how much of a hand Microsoft has how much overhead there is, and how tight of a grip that is. But I think more money and more resources for these studios is good.
I think it's really unlikely they make PC only stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
for sure.
Especially if you look at like how well Divinity Original Sin 2 has done, period, but like has, both those Divinity games have console ports. I'm sure they didn't sell as much on consoles as they did on PC, but it, every little bit helps. And I think that's something Microsoft would be looking at, is making an RPG that, works well with a controller as well as on PC.
Cool. I'm with you there. All right, let me get up another question here. What's the status of this bounty? Are you just hiding from? He's being a ghost.
I mean, am I the one who has the bounty? Does either of us
No one
have
has a bounty right now, right? So I think Chris, you have to just kill the fuck out of Wes. Wes, don't shoot him. Just take it. Just take it. Here we go. I think. Chris, do you have a bounty? Or is it us if we're on a team? Do we both get it?
Again, I had been shooting him already, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's take another question while we try this again. If it doesn't work, whatever. It's kind of a weird system. Nick Manley. Ooh, good one. What are each of the show hosts' leanings on Game of the Year? What's in kind of your final personal running for the top spot?
For me, it's Monster Hunter and Into the Breach, easily.
What about you, Chris?
For me, still very fond of Frostpunk, which was almost doesn't even feel like it was this year. It was toward the beginning of the year, but
Right.
definitely one of my top picks.
Isn't it okay? This is not my pick at all, but isn't it hard to believe that Far Cry 5 came out this year?
It is hard to believe that.
It's really weird. Personally, I don't really have a top. Yeah, I have a million. Fuck. Monster Hunter World is up there. Forsaken is up there. I played a bunch of Frostpunk. I want to play more, but it's also up there. Hitman 2, I think is amazing, even if it's not particularly novel. But I think my favorite game this year so far is Return of the Obra Dinn. So
I'd love to play that before it's too late for Game of the Year, but I definitely want to play it at some point anyway.
Cool. That's where we're at.
Chris, you're gonna smother me in my sleep.
There's a bunch more editors to take into consideration. So, next question. Where are we here? A perfectly legitimate doctor asks, of the games released in the past month or so, say since the end of September, what has been the biggest disappointment and the biggest surprise? And for me, it's like I haven't been playing much release from the last couple months because I'm catching up on everything I missed due to playing nothing but games as a service, or living games. As we
A
talked
lot of
about.
Fortnite.
Yeah, so Hitman 2, I think for me is the biggest surprise, just because I don't know. It's not that surprising either. It's like, yeah, it's more of that, but I guess it's a relief because after IO they were bot. Oh my god.
Just defending my bed.
My health keeps going back up as
Because you're resting.
I'm sleeping. Yeah.
I totally lost my train of thought.
I can't think of anything that's been super surprising or disappointing from the past couple months.
Pretty good.
Not on PC, but the Tetris Effect, I think, has been a surprise. Like just quite how excited people have been for that game and how good it is.
Definitely. I'm excited. Like, I really hope that, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't come to PC eventually. Unless...
I think it's going to. I mean, they put Res Infinite on PC as well as the Lumines remaster, so I think it's extremely likely.
Pretty much a given. Right on. That's good to know. And I'll be able to play it in VR, hopefully, at least, which I hear is amazing. Chris, anything stand out to you? Or not?
What was it the most disappointing in the last month, or best?
Or surprising.
Or surprising.
Or surprising. I don't know. The last month for me has been Fallout 76,
That's
pretty
right.
much. Definitely disappointed in the lack of PC options that we've seen. I've talked about this repeatedly, but it is still surprising, I guess, and disappointing that there doesn't really seem to be much difference between the console versions and this versions in terms of options. I mean, there's no text chat. There's no very limited settings that you can really change. So yeah, that's a big disappointment.
Chris, go ahead and kill me. Let's see if we can get this bounty for real.
All right.
I don't think so, because you're still marked red for me. Well, I made some money.
You just keep making money on him.
I just keep taking Wes's money, or James's money, technically. Or,
Jared's money. I'm playing on Jared's account.
I took all his stuff, too, when he died, so I wonder if there's any more.
Poor Jared.
Pre-war money. I'll just take that, too. Yeah, well, we don't have to get this Manhunt going. I'll just ask some questions. You guys can dance and hurt each other. Next question. Clever. A hypothetical for you. A top publisher offers you a deal to write a book about the video game industry. What is your angle? Thoughts? You guys want to?
I would like to. I think I would love to. If I was going to pick a topic, I guess it would probably be something related to games. And I'm just so impressed when small teams, even just single developers, spend years making a game kind of in their free time, and kind of the dedication required to put in all that time before you even know if you're gonna be successful or make money with it. And I think I feel like that's much more interesting than, say, like looking at how a huge studio put together. It's more interesting than how Rockstar made Red Dead 2. I think it's more interesting.
They did it with a lot of money and labor.
Yeah.
So, that's your
so I think that'd be my goal.
Cool.
How about you, James?
I have a couple answers because I fielded this question much earlier and had time to think about it and didn't get it sprung on me right away. But one angle is just I want to know. One big studio story I do want to know is what happened inside of Epic during the Fortnite Battle Royale transition. Like, I really want to know that whole story. Wait, who's it? Do we have someone else with us now? What is
that? No, the robots.
The robots.
The robots are mad. I think it's because you damaged my base. Maybe that you're seen as an enemy, and the robots are mad at you.
No, I shot some. Some robots.
Yeah, they're gonna kick your ass.
My other angle would be sort of the topic I wanted to talk about today was like happy accidents in design, like things that emerge when you choose to prefer fun over wholly eternal game balance. I think it'd be you could find a bunch of essays or write a bunch of essays on different studio stories about that. It could be interesting. And then the other is a more environmental, serious, big-time issue. The cost of a PC. Like, I would love to look into, just break down over the course of a book, the sourcing, both in terms of and cost of labor cost, environmental cost of what it requires to build and power a single computer, which is more maybe less our immediate wheelhouse. It's not so PC gamer, but I think it's something to, in these dire times, to be aware of and consider.
Oh, I'm down.
Oh no! Shit, what happened there?
You got roboted.
I dropped a mine at the robot, but it blew me up too.
Can I take all your shit?
I think I would probably write about localization of Japanese games. It's probably like my favorite topic in gaming, and I think is kind of under discussed, underappreciated, especially focusing on, I don't know, like somewhere between 90s and 2000s, where that stuff was really changing quite quickly and significantly, where you were going from these, Super Nintendo games that had just absolutely butchered English to games where they were actually building up teams to properly translate them. And now so many Japanese games have amazing English localizations because they have the expertise and the tools to do that stuff, but there was a period where they really did not.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be fascinating. Cool. That's a good question, Clever. Thank you. Basically, we just explored a bunch of long-term feature pitches. Next question. DJ. Burger or pizza?
Pizza.
Duh.
Yeah, pizza. I I do like a burger though.
Burgers are so contextual for me. Like pizza, I can eat just about any day of the week, anytime. But a burger, I feel like, man, it's got to be the right moon. It's got to be the right like barometric pressure. I have to have like at least walked at least a mile that day. Otherwise, I'm at risk of just imploding.
Whereas pizza's so light in comparison.
Well, you can get lighter pizza. I mean, like you can get a slice of pizza and it's not the end of your fucking day, right? A burger, I feel like a burger, that's the rest of your day, you know? But a fair point. Good question, Deej. Viddy Vane, has anyone on the team played Red Dead Redemption 2 yet? Neither of you guys, right?
Not me.
I've played a good 10 hours maybe. And I don't know if you want my hot take, but it's a Rockstar game with some really finely simulated Western life, almost to just an irritating degree. But it is a very singular, once a generation kind of game. Not necessarily because it's good, like I'm still forming that opinion, but because it's just big and so polished and particular. Let's see, a couple more.
Chris, you want to try kicking me off the team one more time without me hitting you first?
Okay, let's give it a try.
All right. Yeah, those are our last questions. So I think, let me check Discord just in case. Yep, that does it. So let's see if we can get this going. I'm the team leader, huh?
My turret is attacking you. My turret is very loyal.
It's a pretty good turret, yeah. You have to fill those up with ammo?
No, they need repair though.
Oh. Really
is there some system in place that makes you auto heal?
Are you healing?
You might have some kind of armor that does it when you are healing.
Nerdy. Is it just me or does 76 have worse graphics than Fallout 4? It's about the same. I've turned off. I'm not on the highest settings just so I can stream it at an okay frame rate. But it looks striking in some spots. But yeah, once you get up close to anything, it's not the prettiest for sure.
I'm like taking no damage here.
Yeah, this is how they kind of protect against griefing. It's like if you don't fight back, you don't take damage. Okay. There you go.
Shoot you once. But now will you still get a bounty on you?
I'm not sure if I'll still get a bounty. No, it gave me a bounty on you. I don't know.
Wait, I have a bounty on me now?
It said you did, but I don't see it again. I don't see it on the map. I think it must not work if we're on each other's friends list. Well, we're on each other's friends list. Then maybe that's why.
Well, that's almost somehow worse that your friends can kill you and get away with it. Whatever. All right. Well, that does it for the show, the simulated show inside Fallout 76. I hope we can do stuff like this every now and then. We should maybe get a set in Gary's mod and some other spots.
That would be fun.
Or something, because it makes for some zany antics for sure.
We should do it in Star Citizen because when you talk, your mouth actually moves.
Absolutely. Perfect choice. Other show news and notes. So this might fall on deaf ears because some people just aren't hearing it. The podcast RSS is still busted, but we are still working to fix it, and that requires probably more work than you'd expect, just because there are, people we have to talk to, and it's an old feed where digging up the right information is taking time, and changing it.
We're dealing with stuff that has been imported, ported across multiple website versions and. Legacy code and a lot of challenges.
Yeah, so it's happening though, and when it does happen, it should be relatively future-proof. So please stay patient. We also got new graphics coming in, and we'll have some new. We are currently working on like really, really, really like finally going to get new segments and sort of new formats, and we are also going to get some of our UK folks on the show more often. So a lot to look forward to. So thanks for dealing with our mess in the meantime. It's all for good reason, I promise you. But you can always catch us twitch.tv/PCGamer 1 p.m. every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, I should say. Yeah, wave at the camera, folks. You can catch us after the fact at youtube.com/PCGamer, or typically on iTunes. But for now, just go to pcgamer.com/tag/podcast. You can find the MP3s there to download. So there's still audio versions. You just have to go find them on our site. I'm sorry. There's some good stuff you can read while you download. Yeah, and we should have that back up and running within a couple week. I don't know. We'll see. Don't want to make any promises. But thanks again. And until next week, I don't know if Joanna, I was going to have her make me a new catchphrase here, but I forgot to pull it from her. So I guess we'll just...
Oh, God.
I wanted to end the show with a bang.
I'm not even going to say anything. That's it. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Bye,
Game
folks.
on.